about Graham Mertz first, Florida quarterback Graham Mertz. By far his best game as a Florida Gator, and probably his best game in his career, right? Maybe that first game he started Wisconsin when they played Illinois. That game always gets brought up. But this may be his best game in his career, for sure in Florida, right? So he was 30 of 48 for 423 yards passing and 3 touchdowns as they won against South Carolina. Just a really, really good game overall. And the offense for Florida, you saw kind of evolve, I think. I think you actually saw the element of the vertical passing game. You actually saw an element of the extension of the offense. You saw like another element, another phase of the offense, and Graham Mertz did fantastic, right? So yeah, best game of his career by far, or best game of his Florida career by far, arguably his best game of his career. And it was kind of a back and forth game. Eventually Florida took the lead, then South Carolina came back and took the lead, and then Graham Mertz needed to have a game-winning touchdown drive, which was outstanding. Several big conversions, especially that 4th and 10 to Ricky Pearsall. And Pearsall is an absolute stud, the receiver for Florida. Just made some outstanding plays, and then the game-winning touchdown pass was that little kind of skinny post pass to Pearsall. So let's talk about the keys. Let's talk about what he was able to do. Let's talk about how he was able to have success against South Carolina and end up having such a good game. Number one, it was the vertical shots that we talked about. The vertical shots, pushing the ball downfield, doing more than just a short game, right? Like we said, it was an extension of the offense. The offense evolved a little bit. Number two, he was very efficient in every type of pass play that he did. He's always been efficient. Like the completion percentage is always pretty high, but it's always been, the short passes, the quick passes, which is fine. It's part of the offense. But like I said, he was efficient, push the ball downfield. Then number three, they didn't rely on the play action nearly as much. Yeah, there's play action. Yeah, there's some bootleg and some rollouts that Mertz did. But a lot of the success actually came on just passing down. So a lot of the success came on straight dropbacks. I don't think the run game got us going, didn't get as much success or get rolling as much as maybe the previous games for Florida. And some of that was being down and having to pass. But Graham Mertz, whenever he had a straight drop, so no play action, just a straight drop back pass, he was 21 of 33 for 288 yards and 1 touchdown. For the offense that Napier runs, that's really, really good, especially when, Napier sets Mertz up to be successful because of the play action game and to rely on the play action. That's a really, really good number for Graham Mertz. So let's talk about the vertical shots that he's been able to hit, because I'm pretty sure it's the highest yards per attempt so far. It was 8.8, and he's been like that 6-ish, 6.5 type range the previous games. Graham Mertz, he had 10 completions of 10 yards or more and 4 completions of 20 yards or more, which is outstanding for that offense. I think coming into the game, did he have 8 or 6? I can't remember exactly how many completions he had of 20 yards or more, but he had nearly half those completions in just this one game. Then the efficiency, right? He was able to still run the offense. He took what the defense gave him, and then we saw them be able to evolve and attack the defense deep, attack vertically. And like we said, Ricky Pearsall was absolutely huge in that game. The straight dropbacks for Graham Mertz were I think was what won them the game. They weren't able to rely on play action. And so we saw just another element of that offense. So really, really impressive performance, really, really impressive game by Graham Mertz and just the Florida offense in general. I thought Ricky Pearsall was huge, and he pretty much took over that game, especially the last drive. Let's talk about the last drive real quick before we move on to Spencer Rattler, because I do want to talk Spencer Rattler because he played a hell of a game as well. But let's talk another minute or two on Mertz. That drive, that fourth down, or that fourth quarter drive to take the lead, that could be program, leading drive, but definitely the season could continue to, progress and go forward and go upward and have a few more wins because of that drive. That drive could really bring some momentum into the season, I think. That 4th and 10 play to Pearsall, when he was able to roll out, Pearsall was covered too, or he was going towards the sideline. So Mertz actually did a pretty good job just throwing it where Pearsall could make an adjustment and catch the ball, and the DB wasn't able to. So then they get that. Then they have a few other big plays to go downfield. Then they have that was a sweep play or a running play that lost 5 yards, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? I was thinking they should not be running the ball right now. Obviously, I don't know what I'm talking about. But then I think it was after that play, they threw that little bang route, that little skinny post to Pearsall, and he was open. It was a great ball by Graham Mertz. You could tell Mertz was feeling it. Mertz was comfortable. Even on that drive when they were, the first 3 plays weren't successful until that 4th down and 10 conversion to Pearsall. Even on that drive, like, he was calm the whole time. So again, great job by Graham Mertz. Probably the best quarterback play in the SEC this week. You could probably argue Jayden Daniels, but you can probably argue that any week right now. But just to recap, Mertz, the vertical shots they were able to take, highest yards per attempt so far this season, I believe. Still efficient run the ball and not relying on play action. He had to drop the straight drop back passes, which made the game even more impressive. 30 of 48, 423 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and that big game-winning 4th quarter drive to win the game. And a lot of the rushing yards, real quick, I should probably mention a lot of the rushing yards have went down in the game because of the safety that Florida took at the end of the game, and all the knees they took. They kind of were running backwards to let the clock run out. So that's probably why the rushing yards were so low this game. All right, let's go on to Spencer Rattler.